Came charging in. Not enough on that throw, and Arkansas has cut this in half. Carson Bowles, 316 hitter, steps in there. Last night we saw Anthony Ianson put on a clinic on the mound for LSU. We will ask him about what was working so well last night and kind of his emergence on this LSU staff, who has quickly become one of the best pitchers in this Southeastern Conference. There is a walk to Bowles.
And I tell you what, 11 big strikeouts last night, 14 strikeouts the weekend before. And you look around college baseball for total strikeouts, he came in yesterday's game at number 4 in the entire country in strikeouts.
Boy, big swing from Kahio Aloy. Told you, played at BYU last year, was recruited there to kind of be a pitcher, but they were struggling to play. They knew he could swing it, got him in the lineup. Things started to click a little bit. And once Dave Van Horn found out he was available in the transfer portal, he was like, heck yeah, I mean, if he's anything like his brother, why not? So he went out and got him, took a little chance on the bat. Boy, did that pay off.
Yeah, I'd say it did. Get a guy that leads the conference in RBIs.
That ball is laced into left, right over the outstretched arm of Stephen Milam. So first and second now for the Hogs with 2 down.
That ball was absolutely barreled up right there. I don't know what the exit velo was, but it was well over 100 miles an hour. Watch this swing. Nice and balanced.
Well, that is a big old hack, isn't it?
It is. It looks long, but he covers those balls somehow. He gets to them, the elevated fastballs. Only when you have a long swing, you have trouble on elevated fastballs, especially if it's low to mid-90s.
Nate Yeski back to talk to Kaysen Evans. We were here 2 weeks ago for the Tennessee series, and Kaysen Evans was really good on the mound against the Volunteers.
Yeah, that was his very first start of the year. If I remember correctly, he gave up 2 in the first inning to Tennessee and then went lockdown mode for the next 5.
Was really, really good. And it was interesting because he was almost like Tony Vitello's twin.
Yeah, he does look like Tony.
Tony Vitello, the head coach of Tennessee, of course. Tennessee and Vanderbilt locked up in a good one, 3-2. Vanderbilt out in front in the 5th inning there. That game in Knoxville, series tied 1 game apiece. There's a strike to Ryder Helfrich, the catcher,
who doubled in his first at bat today.
Strike 2. By the way, Florida up on Texas 4-1 in the bottom of the 8th inning. Florida's trying to win that series 2-1. Well,
how nice was that block right there by Luis Hernandez. Love that. Breaking ball down in 2 strikes, you got to be able to block it, keep it in front. And it's all about the forward lean for a catcher. Get to both knees and have a slight forward lean with your chest. Why do you lean forward? You lean forward so the ball hits the chest protector and you kill it right in front of home plate. If you stand in that position right there and the chest is straight up, the ball hits the chest protector and it goes up over your head. Luis Hernandez has been around a while. Watch this forward lean. This is how you do it. This is off of 1 knee right here. See how he leans forward? That just kills it right there in front of home plate. Something all catchers work on every day. Blocking balls and keeping them right around home plate.
That one's down in the zone. Hernandez, the senior transfer, honored before the game today on senior day here at LSU, but 3 years at Indiana State out of Puerto Rico. Ooh. Oh boy.
Could have been called and wasn't. Jason Evans thought he had strike 3.
A little bit off the plate.
Maybe a little bit off. Hernandez tried to steal that one. He quickly snatched it back. Brandon Cooper, home plate umpire, was not having any of it.
That ball's hit hard. That's going to bounce off the top of the wall. That'll get 1 run in. Alloy will stop at third. So Helfrich with a double and an RBI.
There's your big knock with a runner in scoring position. Arkansas came in 4 for 20 in this series, runners in scoring position, but that's a big one there.
How about Helfrich? 6 of 9 this weekend with 4 doubles.
Yeah, he got a ball up in the zone right there. A little slider up in the zone, and he quickly turned. Just missed a home run. Watch where this ball hits. Right about 3/4 away up that left field wall.
Got ourselves a 2-2 ball game. And second and third again for Arkansas. A lot of stressful pitches for Evans. Got out of a jam last inning with runners at second and third and nobody out. Not so easy this time around as Cam Kozel tries to keep it going.
Yeah, Evans' last time out against Texas A&M, he only went 3 1/3, and he only gave up 1 run, but he walked 3, had a lot of 3-2 counts, and the pitch count got up quickly. He threw 93 pitches, which was a season high for him, and he was out of the game in the 4th. And you see he's at 66 already today here in the 3rd.
Alloy over at third, Helfrich at second. Just rear back and let it rip at 95 miles an hour.
That's just good old-fashioned country hardball right there. My best against yours. And Evans won that one. 95, a little up and in. Now you speed the bat up at 95. Let's see if he goes with that good changeup down and away.
Back up the middle. That's a base hit. 2 are going to score. Alloy scores. Helfrich scores. A 2 RBI single. And Arkansas has put a 4 spot on the board.
Boy, they are not missing mistakes today, Arkansas. And it was the changeup. But watch where this ball was. Trying to go down and away, and just a changeup left, just about Jersey high, right out over the plate. And Kozel knows just what to do with that. A bullet right back up from whence it came.
Brent Iredale. He struck out his first time up. Four hits this inning with a walk. 2 doubles. And 4 have come across. Well, they just continued to swing it well here in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, I don't know what Dave Van Horn told his bunch after the game yesterday, but the message got across. Because this is the Arkansas team that we have seen pretty much all year long.
Now batting first baseman Rocco Pepe.
And Rocco Pepe will try to keep it going. Pepe's first time up.
Looks like LSU's got the big right-hander Chase Shore starting to heat up in that Tiger bullpen.
Pepe grounded out his first time. His average down to 222. There is Chase Shores. Arkansas, Ben, this is a very telling stat of how the first two games went for Arkansas. With 2 outs, they were 4 for 20 in the first 2 games. Today, they're 4 for 5 with 2 outs.
Yeah, about hitting with runners in scoring position, right? 2 for 5 today for Arkansas, runners in scoring position. They were 4 for 20, as you mentioned, in the first 2 games with runners in scoring position.
What a job he did yesterday against this very tough Arkansas lineup. And Anthony, thanks for joining us. I just got to ask, I mean, we talk about how good it was. How did you feel it went yesterday?
Yeah, it was great. Just playing with the team, obviously just so grateful for the opportunity. But yeah, I feel like just executed well.
Anthony, what's been the difference for you this year? I mean, 25 strikeouts in your last 2 games, top 5 in the country in total strikeouts. You struck out some guys last year, right? But about a strikeout per inning last year. Why so many more strikeouts this year? Like, what's better for you this year?
Yeah, just taking a big emphasis on, first 2 out of 3 pitches. Oh, yes, sir. That boy, Danny. Yeah, just focusing on, 2 out of 3 for strikes. I think that's huge for me. Just knowing that if I get to 2 strikes, I have enough pitches and the command to, get guys out.
When you say first, so you're talking about working from ahead, right? You're talking about throwing strike one, putting hitters on defense right away, and then getting to those. Because it looks like to me you're breaking balls, dude, yesterday, and really the last couple of starts, and pretty much all year long. That slider and that curveball for you have been outstanding.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I take a lot of pride in those. Been throwing them my whole life, so I'm really confident in them.
All right, what goes through your mind? Yesterday, I can't remember, it was the 2nd or 3rd inning. Bases loaded. You got Vahiva Aloy up at the plate, 2 and 3 hole hitters. You're in a jam. What are you thinking? What's going through your mind, especially with those guys coming to the plate?
Yeah, just focusing on executing the pitch. I talk about it a lot, but that's all it is to me. Just, really bearing down, controlling what I can, and just slowing down.
Yeah, I felt like that was kind of a defining moment in that game, you getting off the field and your team getting off the field. But 93 pitches yesterday. How do we feel? I mean, obviously it's a long season. Lots expected of you and Kate every weekend to come out and do your jobs. But, I mean, from a physical standpoint, what's it been like this year with so many? I mean, look, here's your first go-around in the SEC with all these. I mean, this is not your everyday routine college baseball event here at LSU.
Yeah, it's fun, obviously talk about, how grateful I am for the opportunity. But I think it's just, I've been ready for this my whole life, played football, baseball, so I've been physically ready for, the workload.
Now, you come from the West Coast, obviously,
sure.
Out there around Lakewood, California. You spent your first 2 years at UC San Diego. How's the culture down here? Is it what you expected it to be coming from California down here in Baton Rouge?
Yeah, obviously, you look around, this place is insane. Just so much pride, the baseball at the collegiate level out here. It's great. I love it, every bit of it.
Now, out of high school, I went back, I was looking at some of the stuff. Man, you could swing it now. I think you hit close to 500 your senior year in high school, but you gave it up. Was there ever a chance you were going to be a two-way guy? What's the story there?
Yeah, nah. Nah, guys were throwing probably 85. Now they're throwing 85 with breaking balls. I'm all right.
Yeah, you're good where you are right now.
Yeah, I'm all right.
Now, you were also a multi-sport guy.
Yes, sir.
Is baseball, I know you played quarterback, wide receiver, some stuff in high school as well. I mean, what is your favorite sport?
I'll say now baseball, but if you asked me probably a year, 2 years ago, I would say football still.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just fall in love with baseball more, obviously, playing it. Just grew up around football. My family loved watching me play football. Always played football more than baseball, so.
Well, you're in a good spot to be a football fan. I mean, did you get to go to LSU football games?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what was that like? How about that, huh?
It felt like war in there.
I mean, when the first time you went to an LSU football game, what were your thoughts?
I was mind blown, honestly.
Yeah.
Like just the environment, how many people were there, and it was electric.
Well, it is Mother's Day, and I know big part of everybody's life, especially baseball moms. I mean, what What are your memories of growing up in your household with your mom and sports and all that entails?
Yeah, I think about, my mom just driving me, gone for the whole day, doing 3 practices in one day. I'll share a story that she always talks about, how I was a little boy just running out of the front door, and her chasing me down the street, just trying to catch me to bring me back in the house. But yeah.
Did she catch you?
I don't know, maybe, but. Yeah.
Apparently she didn't, or you would remember it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we got a picture of you and your mom up on the screen right now, and I know as I have a son that plays ball too, and the effort and energy that goes into just being a sports mom is incredible these days, with practices and whatnot, travel baseball and all that good stuff. But hey, listen, are you excited about the SEC tournament? I mean, it is, some people say, harder to win that than it is a national championship. It's going to be a unique environment for you when you get to Hoover.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Never been there before, so that'll be a really cool experience. But just looking to play baseball with these guys for as long as we have left.
Well, listen, we'll let you get going, watch some baseball after the pitching change. Hey, great start to the season. Can't wait to watch you pitch throughout the postseason. Thanks for the time.
Thank you very much.
Good luck, buddy.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom. I love you.
Oh, nice
that's
touch.
awesome.
That is solid right there, Anthony.
Awesome.
How about that? Don't forget your mama.
Call your mom today. Hang out with her today for sure. Well, Dylan Carter on the bump. Dave Van Horn goes to his first reliever of the day. Big arm too, Dave. I mean, fastball's going to be 95, 96. Got a little cutter, a slider, and a curveball.
Drive fouls that one back. Carter trying to keep LSU at bay after a 4 spot by Arkansas's offense.
He's been busy this year, making his 22nd appearance. Look at the ERA. Outstanding. 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. And only 21 hits in a little over 30 innings of work.
Arkansas and LSU both sitting here at 17-9. Arkansas is trying to win 18 or more SEC games for the 8th consecutive season. High in the air, out to right. Bowles is there to make the catch, and that'll be out number 1. LSU is the only other team in the SEC in history to record at least 8 consecutive seasons of 18 or more SEC wins. They did that from 1996 through 2005, just to give you some perspective on what this Arkansas team under Dave Van Horn is trying to accomplish. That's elite level stuff.
Yeah, you look at the numbers. I mean, since 2017, Arkansas, Dave Van Horn's averaged 46 wins a season and a little over 19 wins in SEC.
There's a strike to Jake Brown. Can you imagine the party if Arkansas was to win a national championship? The party in Fayetteville, Arkansas, what that's going to be like? I can't even wrap my arms around that thought.
Well, we've had a lot of first-timers recently. I mean, Ole Miss won their first one. Mississippi State won their first one. Tennessee last year. That's a crazy thing. The last 5 national championships have been won all by SEC schools and 5 different programs to do it.
Yeah.
That's how crazy it is.
Brown 310, 6 homers. 2 of them yesterday. Brown was probably very excited that Bottleshees left the game because he's not hitting left-handers very well, and now he gets a right-hander, but it's not exactly an easy right-hander in Carter. But at least you got a fighting chance now.
This is not a walk in the park because Carter's throwing at 97 right now.
2-2. Ground ball back up the middle. So 2 on for LSU.
Boy, nice at bat right there by Jake Brown, who is having a tremendous series. 1 for 1 in game 1. That was a pitch hitting performance. And then 3 for 4, a couple of homers in game 2, 1 for 2 so far today.
All told, that's 5 for 7, Ben.
That's a pretty good weekend.
Yeah. Luis Hernandez got the scoring started with a home run in the 2nd inning. His 7th of the year.
Boy, was that a pretty move to the baseball. Battleshe's trying to get that little slider of his down and in underneath the bat, and boy, it never got there.
0-2, but this is what it looked like in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, a little slider trying to get inside. And that's an impressive swing right there. He was able to get his hands in tight to the body and get the barrel to the ball. Hernandez's 7th long ball of the year, his 22nd RBI.
Helfrich tried to frame that one. Didn't work. 1-2 the count. No midweek games next week for anybody in the league with the short week.
That's right. Well, neither one of these teams had a midweek game this past week. Arkansas didn't have one on the schedule. LSU got rained out.
Hernandez base hit back up the middle. Dickinson turns the corner, bobbled out there by Thomas, and Dickinson scores easily, and it's a 4-3 game.
Two base hits in a row, right back up the middle. Boy, Jake Brown is kicking himself right now. He should be at 3rd base right now because the ball was bobbled by Thompson out in center field. Watch him bobble this ball. And right there, Jake Brown's kind of hung up and didn't take an extra 90 on that.
So 1st and 2nd now. And Michael Braswell. Braswell hitting 7th in the lineup today. .221 average, and he'll look at ball 1. 98 miles an hour.
Well, these arms on both of these teams, I'm telling you what, high octane stuff.
Braswell now in his 2nd year at LSU after a couple of years at South Carolina. Out of Mableton, Georgia, just outside of Atlanta. 64-game starter at shortstop last year, but moved over to 3rd to allow Stephen Milam to get the start in the 6th hole.
The average SEC pitcher, Dave, that's lefties, righties, that's everybody. The average velocity is 92.5 this year is what we're averaging. Big league average fastball right now is about 94 and some change. So you're about 2.5 miles, 2 miles per hour off the big league average when it comes to velocity. Now, this is SEC pitchers only.
It's incredible. I've seen some left-handers this year living in the upper 80s for the most part, fastballs and stuff.
That's what brings it down, those soft tossing lefties.
But I have not. I don't know that I've seen a right-hander in this league live in the upper 80s. Like if you're not,
no,
yeah.
no. You're not getting recruited in the SEC if you're right-handed and not throwing 93 to 95. You're just not. Now, if you got some type of awesome off-speed pitch like Cowan has got for LSU, he's got a really good changeup. He's not a hard thrower, but he's got a difference maker with the changeup. You see some of those right-handers out there. Oh! Did that get him in the head or the shoulder?
That did not sound like it hit the helmet, that's for sure. Let's hope that was off the shoulder blade.
I know one thing, it was up and in big time, and look out.
Yep.
Ooh.
You got fractions of a second.
Yeah.
To get out of the way.
Because you know he's got a breaking ball, so you want to hang in there as long as you can, because sometimes that's where they're going to start the breaking ball. Well, he just got his head out of the way.
Stephen Milam, who homered his last time up, Second hit of the series. Picked up his 42nd run batted in. Double figures in home runs now. Big opportunity now for LSU to grab the lead back here with the bases loaded, 1 out. Monster Milam hitting 8th in the lineup. Fouls that one out of play. Well, we go from the rain of Knoxville to the sunshine of the Bayou. Dave Neal, Ben McDonald from Alex Box Stadium. Glad you could join us as we've had a back and forth affair already in this game 3 between these two top 10 teams. LSU won the first 2 games. The bases loaded situation here as Brown stands at third. Hernandez is at second. Braswell over at first. Steve Monster Milam at the plate, 1 down. LSU took a 2-0 lead on a couple of solo homers, but then in the top half of this inning, the Hogs picked up 4, but LSU trying to claim the lead back here. This could be 2, though. The turn at second. Kozel's turn is perfect. The double play will get the Hogs off the field, but a run does come across in the inning. So a 4-3 ball game after 3.
Well, here's one of your best defenses in the entire country. #1 in the SEC and #2 overall. This is perfect. Little 6-4-3, a double play to get the Hogs off the.
.350 average on the year with 13 home runs. There's a little chopper back up the mound. Nobody can catch that one. The Hogs had a really good inning in the third. Strung together 5 hits, 4 runs, including a walk. And get the first hit here of the fourth. All told, 7 hits for the Hogs.
Yeah. And where they have struggled this series, runners in scoring position, they've been much better so far today. 2 for 6.
We got the top 2 hitting teams in the league. Arkansas came in at 315, LSU at 306. Tennessee was right behind LSU though at 305. And we got 2 top 5 teams in terms of ERA in the league. LSU third at 3.7 ERA, Arkansas 5th at 3.9. These teams are so, I mean, the records are identical, 40-11 and 17-9 in league play.
Yeah, they're really, I mean, Arkansas a little bit more pop with the bat, obviously, if you look at the home runs. But you mentioned the ERA is very similar. The batting average, very similar. Defense, LSU's playing some good defense, just like Arkansas.
I think that's probably the biggest improvement for LSU from a year ago to this year is they've kind of shored up things defensively.
Yeah, look, they're better all the way around. I mean, you mentioned it. I think the defense is much better than it's been the last 2 years. I think also the pitching staff as a whole is much better. It's a deeper staff. And we talked about this, I think, yesterday a little bit. This is the best team ERA LSU has had since, you got to go all the way back to 2016 when they had a team ERA like this. Of course, Nate Yeske continues to do a wonderful job, considered one of the best pitching coaches in the country, like Matt Hobbs is over for Arkansas. LSU, this LSU staff led the nation in strikeouts last year, and they're #2 in the country this year, so they can really strike you out.
Vahiva Aloy, 5th in the Southeastern Conference with a 370 average coming into today, but Vahiva 0 for 1 and now at 368. Ben, you think you're looking at Aloy as maybe the player of the year in the conference?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, look, he came into this series. He was in the top 5 in 7 different offensive categories in the SEC.
There is ball 4. So first and second now for Arkansas. The pitch count getting up there for Kason Evans.
Because I look about when I talk about player of the year in the SEC, to me, it matters what you do on both sides of the ball. We see guys put up big offensive numbers, but they're very average on defense. This is a kid that's putting up huge offensive numbers, but playing the premium position of shortstop and playing it as well as anybody in the country. And so when I talk about a complete player, a player that can win ball games on both sides of the ball, I'm pointing to that guy right there. I think he's your SEC Player of the Year.
Be hard to argue.
And there's some guys having obviously some monster years offensively. But on both sides of the ball, it's hard to argue against the Hevo Lloyd.
Carson Bowles 0 for 1 today. Lifts that one out to shallow left center, and Stanfield there. Boy, he covers some ground in center field. We've seen that over and over again.
He can go get it. Had a couple little hiccups at College Station last weekend on some balls. The wind was knocking down on him a little bit, but all in all, he's been outstanding at the center field position.
Former Auburn Tiger, where the wind was blowing dead to right field, more so out to center today. We've already seen a couple of home runs out to left field today, and Jay Johnson has seen enough. 87 pitches for Kason Evans. Very similar to his last start. So the Tigers going to the bullpen. Chase Shores, the 6'8" right-hander, making his way onto the diamond. We'll update the change when we come back in a 4-3 game.
Well, there's the big right-hander you mentioned, all 6'8" of him. Chase Shores began the year for LSU as their #3 starter, the weekend rotation, the Sunday guy out of Midland, Texas. He pitched in game 1 out of the bullpen for LSU. When an inning in the third, gave up 2 hits, 1 run, didn't walk a batter, didn't strike out anybody. There's the numbers on the year. He can strike you out, 48 of those. Sometimes walks can be an issue for him. 23 walks in his 45 2/3, but it's a big arm, Dave. Fastball's going to be in that 94 to 98 range. Pretty much all two-seamers, all sinking type fastballs. A little slider and a changeup to go with it.
Tough situation here for Chase in a 1-run game. 2 on, 2 outs. And Kahia Aloy. Kahio, 359 on the year, 13 home runs and 66 runs batted in.
Yeah, one of the best run producers in all of college baseball.
6'1", 205, the sophomore. Lays off the breaking ball. 1-0. I think 2 of the happiest people in the country last year at the end of the season were the Aloy parents when Kahio decided to come play ball at Arkansas.
Yeah. Go to one spot and see both
exactly.
the kids play. Instead of one going one way and one going the other.
Kahio played at BYU last year. That is probably not an easy trip from Fayetteville out to Salt Lake City.
A lot of shade around home plate. You got to wonder if the hitters are seeing spin. Pitching, the ball's coming out of the sunlight. A lot of shade around home plate.
Whew, what a swing. Gosh. He is not cheated.
No.
I mean, that's like his 2-strike swing.
And as a pitcher on the mound, when you get this, you're coming out of sunlight, the hitter's in the shade, the more you can spin the ball, a lot of times the more success you're going to have. Because hitters will tell you they have trouble picking up spin when the balls come out of sunlight and they're in the shade, or vice versa.
Lifts this one out to left, caught it off the end of the Tiger center fielder.
Yeah, Stanfield's been really good for LSU. Doesn't have a lot of power numbers, right? No home runs on the year, 20 RBIs, but he leads LSU in batting average in conference play.
The 3-1. Check swing. Did he go? No, says Eric Gaucher at first. They immediately looked to the LSU dugout. Because we had a moment earlier where he On the other side, an Arkansas batter, LSU thought the batter swung, and he said no swing. And
let it go, Eric. Let it go.
Yeah.
I went down to the umpires room game 1 when we had that 3.5-hour rain delay and got to visit with the umpires a little bit. Talked to Eric Gaucher for a while. Good guy. This is a really solid crew here in Baton Rouge this weekend. Brandon Cooper, Gaucher, DeBrouwer, and Jason Bradley.
And those boys have all seen a lot of baseball. Been doing this a while. That's up and away to Derek Curiel, this young man who reached base in his first 43 straight collegiate games. I mean, out of the gates, they couldn't keep him off the base path.
Freshman record here at LSU, and I think he finished up 6th all time.
What an amazing start for this young man.
Yeah, plate discipline. I mean, you just call it advanced is what it is, you know. A very rare understanding of a strike zone for a true freshman. Like, he doesn't chase a whole lot of balls. And we talked about this earlier. I mean, it's not very common for true freshmen to step into the SEC and contribute and be factors, but to step in and go right to the top of a lineup like he has done is pretty rare.
And the top of the league. So all those numbers, a lot of top 10 numbers for Derek Curiel.
And what makes him so special is his ability to hit the ball to the backside of the field. And that's what I noticed about him when I first saw him is he's not afraid. If you're going to pitch him away, he will barrel it up to the backside of the field. How about that youngster there, huh?
This isn't the zoo. I thought you said we were going to the zoo. I said we were going to go see tigers and razorbacks, some hogs. I tried to run that on my kids a couple times.
They ain't buying it.
No. Dylan Carter with that fastball in the upper 90s, trying to get out of this one. Nobody out, runner at first, top of the lineup. Chopper to first, they're going to say foul ball. Robinette elevated to grab it, but in foul territory. One of the things about Curiel, during that 43 game on base streak, he had reached base at least twice in 38 of those 43 games.
I mean, you look around the SEC, he's in the top 10, 4 or 5 different categories, including walks, on base percentage, hits.
Dylan Cruz, by the way, set the record for LSU. He reached 71 straight games.
That was over the course of 2 years. His sophomore year, I think the last 6 or 7 games he reached, and then he reached in every game that he played the year LSU won their national title in 2023.
Dylan got up to the big leagues this year.
Yeah, got off to a really, really slow start, but he has got it going since then.
By the way, former Ole Miss first baseman Tim Alcohol, we talked about it yesterday on the national championship team at 29 years old, got the call up to the big leagues for the White Sox. His first major league hit with a home run.
Imagine that. That kid's got a little bit of a flair for dramatic, doesn't he?
He does.
He's just got the it factor. And I love it. I mean, the scouts didn't give him much of a chance to make it, just like Brent Rooker. We talked about that. They didn't give Brent Rooker much of a chance either. They weren't real high on him, even though Rooker went in the first round of the draft. But I remember some scouts thinking, I don't know if he's going to make it or not. Well, he's done pretty good for himself. And I have a feeling that Elko will do well for himself as well.
Here's a 3-2 to Curiel. Foul tipped, and Helfrich hangs on to it for out number 1.
Well, how about that 3-2 pitch there? Think you're going to get a fastball 3-2, but instead, Dylan Carter just spins out a little slider in there and did it. Not only does he throw it, he throws it in the perfect spot, down and in and just underneath the bat of Curiel.
And here is Jared Jones, 2 for 10 this series with 6 strikeouts. Just to give you an idea, he's still hitting .341 despite a 2 for 10 weekend. High in the air. In front of that LSU dugout. Robinette runs out of room.
Got to get the selfie, bro.
Jared Jones, the third-year junior out of Marietta, Georgia. That ball is mashed deep to right field. Is it enough? No, at the warning track. Boy, yesterday that might have gotten out of here with the wind blowing in that direction. Not today, as Bowles makes the catch.
Wind blowing a little bit differently today. This ball got just in on the hands enough of Jared Jones. He is so strong. He didn't get that ball in the barrel at all. Pushes the right fielder Bowles all the way back to the warning track, just up against the wall. See that wind kind of blowing right to left today. Yesterday, left to right.
Stanfield over there getting the uniform dirty on these pickoffs. He's 4 out of 5 in the stolen base department on the year. 2 down in the inning now.
That's a pretty good lead, too.
Dickinson at the plate. He's 2 for 2 today. He squares up for a moment. Dickinson's average now at .330 with these 2 hits. Young man, the junior out of Utah Valley. Grew up in Richland, Washington. He was a really good get in terms of what people thought about the transfer portal. Dickinson was ranked the #2 top transfer. 2 years at Utah Valley, he hit .369 with 27 homers and 95 runs batted in.
Stole some bases, too. Over 30 steals last year.
His coach at Utah Valley actually worked as LSU's hitting coach back in 20 and 21, Eddie Smith. One and 2 the count. Dickinson was very busy in high school. Point guard on the hoops team. Also played a little wide receiver and safety on the football team.
Love that.
You gave up hoops here. For those that don't know, you played basketball here at LSU as well as baseball. When did you give up hoops? What year did you give?
I gave up hoops at the end of my freshman year because we were lucky enough in basketball to go all the way to the Elite 8 my freshman year in basketball. So I didn't get out to the baseball team until conference play had already began. And there was a chance I could make the Olympic team in '88. And so I went and told Dale Brown, I said, listen, man, I appreciate it, but I'm going to go out to baseball, and I got to be out there a full year to kind of show him what I can do because I want to be on that Olympic team. And the funny story goes is he calls me in October and goes, listen, the whole team has come down with mono. Can you at least come out? We got enough players to practice. So I go back out for my sophomore year, and I play. I said, Coach, I'll come back out and help you, and I'll play till January 1, and then I'm going back out to the baseball field. And that's what I did. So I played my sophomore year up to January 1.
So you actually dressed for games and all that stuff up until January 1?
Up to January 1. Did that, and then when January 1 rolled around, I went out to the baseball.
Was that hard to give up?
It was. But I looked at it as a way, A, I wanted to go play basketball, but B, to get my legs in shape and run up down the basketball court. I knew that would be the best thing for my training to get ready to pitch as well, to get my legs strong and go do that. And so, yeah, I was very fortunate. I mean, you get to play for Dale Brown and Skip Bertman. At the time when you're 18, 19, 20 years old, you don't know who that is and how they're going to affect your life down the road. But now that I look back on it, all the lessons Brown taught me, and of course Skip Bertman taught me, man. I've been able to carry that to my kids and kids that I've coached over the years. And so you don't know how lucky you are at the time. You just think they're just a bunch of grumpy old guys. You know?
Kind of like your dad sometimes, right? Then you get old, you realize maybe he wasn't as foolish as I thought he was.
Yesterday, signing some books around the ballpark. Still thinking about Skip. Lost his wife, Miss Sandy. They were married for 61 years. Lost her, I guess it's been about a month ago now. But good to see. Always great to see Coach.
You seen Dale Brown? You catch up with him at all? Or
you know, Dale was the best motivator in the world. He could really get you thinking you could run through a brick wall. And I still get from him a couple of times a week emails and just little notes, just little nuggets. He still sends stuff out like that. He's the best.
Ryder Helfrich to lead things off. Ryder 317 on the year. Helfrich with a double and an RBI. He's got 2 doubles today. Doubled in second, doubled in the third.
Yeah, this Arkansas offense so far today has showed up.
Helfrich, the true sophomore. Another California kid.
That ball 99 miles an hour. Chase Short's going to pretty much throw all 2-seam fastballs. He's got that running sinker, kind of work it left to right, into the righties, away from the lefties.
It's 6'8" out there on the bump. .98 for a strike. 3-2. Ryder Helfrich, his first career hit was a solo home run against James Madison last year. His first career SEC at bat, that was a home run against Auburn in the 9th inning. That is ball 4 just off the plate.
So 3 out of 5 innings for Arkansas. The leadoff batter the inning has reached.
Thinking about that home run that he hit against Auburn, that solo shot. That was the weekend where Dave Van Horn, his daughter, was due with triplets.
That's right.
And he actually went to Auburn and got the call that babies had to be delivered. Here's Braswell. Scoops, fires, throws. Nice play there for the out. But luckily, there was an Arkansas booster, had the plane come pick up the coach, and he was able to get back to Arkansas and be there for the birth of his triplets.
Yeah, this is a nice. Watch him push. See how he pushes through that ball right there. That's what they're teaching infielders now, is to push through the ball with your glove. And Braswell played that perfectly. You mentioned it earlier. Former shortstop, a couple years at South Carolina, played shortstop at LSU last year, made a transition over to third base this year. That's exactly how you want to play that ball.
Brent Iredale looks at strike 1. I mean, that is such an easy 98. I mean, there's not a whole lot of, it doesn't seem, I know there's effort involved, but it doesn't look like it's a lot of effort.
No, for a guy, and look, what he's fought in his career, and it's not uncommon, when you're 6'8" and you got those kind of long levers that he has, it's hard to repeat the mechanics and sync it up, you know, and I can relate being 6'7". It takes a while sometimes where you can duplicate the mechanics to be as consistent. It's not about the stuff for Chase Shorts. I mean, he just oozes with talent. You see the fastball up to 99. He's got some movement on it, a good slider, changeup as well. But he is just trying to figure out the mechanical side of things. And when he syncs it up, it's really good. Like that one. That one probably should have been called and wasn't. Because an umpire, this is the one that'll fool you. We talked about the 2-seam fastball, and he can backdoor it sometimes, meaning he starts it off the outside edge and runs it back.
That one's way off the plate. Iredale, the junior, transferred in from New Mexico Junior College. Another one off the plate. Now it's full 3-2. Iredale was a junior college All-American last year, where he hit .441 with 25 homers and 78 runs batted in.
Goodness. .441?
Yeah, that works. Fouls that one off the netting. We'll do it again. Second full count of the inning for Chase Shores. By the way, .441 was pretty good, but he hit .411 as a freshman.
That's getting it done right there.
And that's how you hit .441 on a 3-2 pitch at 99 miles an hour. That ball is batted in the air, but everybody will stay at their respective bases. Helfrich staying close to third base, so that's how you take 99 miles an hour.
Well, that's 100% true what you just said. How do you hit over 400? Well, you use the backside of the field. You hit the ball where it's pitched. And this is really good right here. Gets his foot down early and just throws the hands at it. Not trying to do too much. And that's a two-strike approach right there, and well done by Iredale, I should say.
So first and third, one out for Arkansas. Reese Robinette came in as a defensive replacement, getting his first at bat. Took over for Rocco Pepe.
If you're Chase Shores right here, you're thinking ground ball. How can I create a ground ball, preferably to one of my two middle infielders, to try to turn a double play and get off the field? Now, when you get to two strikes, the mindset changes. Then you're thinking strikeout.
Runner goes, the throw down to second. Hernandez wasn't completely convicted to throw that one. One hops it out there to Milam.
And Dave Van Horn trying to stay out of that double play, and he will. Something Arkansas doesn't do a lot of, and that's steal bases. Only 37 now on the year. That is dead last in the SEC. But when you're hitting the ball out of the ballpark like they have this year, you don't want to run into many outs.
Fouled straight back.
At a Hundy. LSU going to play the infield back. And Chase Shores is thinking one thing right now. How can I pick up a huge strikeout?
Man, he's just living 90. That was 99.8 miles an hour on that fastball.
And just it looks smooth and easy.
To first, fair ball. Bear Jones bobbles it and step on the bag, but that'll get a run home as Helfrich touches home plate.
Well done by Robinette, just trying to put a ball in play. Again, the infield's pushed back. So if you just hit a ground ball in the infield, anywhere but the pitcher, it'll play another run, and it did. That ball kind of kicked away from Jared Jones. He got ready to shovel it over to Shores, who was not covering first base, but nonetheless, Jared Jones collects the out at first base, and Arkansas picks up another run.
Fouled off the bat of Justin Thomas. These are the things Arkansas is doing today that they didn't do in the first two games.
It's what they've done all year long, except for the first two games. Situational hitting, hitting with runners in scoring position.
Eight hits, but they had a They strung many of those hits late in that game in the 6th and 7th innings. The first 5 was tough to get anything going. A couple of walks and a base hit early in the game to set them up for bases loaded, but couldn't produce anything out of that. And that was pretty much the ball game, as LSU's bats were red hot yesterday. 13 runs on the board. Both these teams been ranked #1 in the D1Baseball.com top 25 this year at some point. 3 and 7
at the right time. That's what all these coaches are trying to do, is trying to get their team, trying to get it all figured out, and run your best 9 out there, your best arms out there, and have a chance to make a deep run and make it to the World Series.
Arkansas going back to the bullpen, getting Christian Fouch out there, the junior out of Littleton, Colorado.
Another big arm.
He'll work to Ethan Fry, Jake Brown, and Luis Hernandez. 4, 5, and 6 due up for LSU here in their half of the 5th. Down a couple of runs. 14 hits in this game combined between these two teams.
Look at that, 99 miles an hour. Shores up to 100. We saw Dylan Carter up to 98. And this is game 3, Dave. This is a Sunday game. This isn't Friday night. I mean, we got 3 guys in this game pushing 100. That was only 99.
Sometimes do you think, though, that some guys are so enamored with 98, 99 that they forget that maybe they would be better throwing strikes at 95, 96?
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, velo is king now, and everybody's chasing velo, you know. But I've always said this, I don't care how hard you throw ball 4.
Right.
I don't care.
Right.
I don't care what your spin rate was on ball 4 either. I don't care. You know, and we're in a time now where we're trying to push up the radar gun. It's max effort, but nobody is giving length like they used to. You know, you look at the major league starters right now across the board are averaging a little over 5 innings per start.
That's crazy.
That's where we are now.
Yeah.
And it's because we're wide open, we're max effort every pitch, and we're out of juice. Man, I hope he didn't hurt himself, did he? No, I think he's all right. But yeah, I mean, that's where we are now. We're chasing spins and shapes. And I told you this story the other day. I was talking to a big league pitching coach with the Orioles the other day. The average big league pitcher misses his spot by 11 inches now. That's hard for me to believe. Yeah. But we're in a time now where stuff plays.
By comparison, what do you think it was in your era of pitching?
Probably 6 inches.
Okay. That's crazy to think they're missing by that big a margin now.
But because we have that right there, we have 99, we have these shapes and these spins, you're seeing catchers begin to set up, no matter what the count is, in the heart of the plate, because they know the average miss is 11 inches in the big league level. And in college ball, the miss is bigger than that. But we have the stuff now, and it's about out-stuffing you and getting you out versus out-pitching you. And it works. I mean, it's working. We talked about the averages at the big league level. But we're also, I think, hurting our relievers because we're using our relievers so much that we're not getting enough length out of our starters, and we're forcing our relievers to throw a lot more appearances, a lot more innings. But it's just where we are right now.
Jake Brown. He's 1 for 2. Struck out in the 2nd, singled in the 3rd. Having a heck of a weekend. 5 for 7 in the series. A couple of home runs. Well, he is a fan favorite here at LSU. Sophomore from Sulphur, Louisiana. Late round draft pick by the Rangers back in 2023. Played a bunch of baseball last year as a freshman. 264 on the year. Got a solid mustache. Can't overlook that.
That is solid. That's pretty solid too at 100 down and away.
Did you ever bust out the mustache?
I tried to, man, but I just...
How old were you when you decided you were going to give that a shot?
You know, when you're nice and mature at 16 years old, 17, you think you can grow a mustache. That thing was so nasty. Had like really 7 hairs on my top lip.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, how about that 99 sending Jake Brown back?
Yeah, if you're going to attack a ball at 99 and it's up out of the strike zone, good luck catching up with it. And he's one of these pitchers here. You better push him down in the zone, because if you're going to attack that ball, you're not going to have a whole lot of luck.
That is back-to-back strikeouts. The 4 and 5 hitters in LSU's lineup. Now Luis Hernandez, who homered back in the second, also singled and had an RBI in the third. As Jay Johnson calls an offensive timeout. Here's what that home run looked like.
Yeah, I got him a little slider kind of working down and in. Vital She's tried to come inside with that slider, and boy, Hernandez on time with that one. His 7th long ball of the year.
Hernandez, good pickup for Jay Johnson in that transfer portal. Obviously an experienced player after 3 years at Indiana State. Also played with the Puerto Rican 23U national team last summer that won a silver medal at the Baseball World Cup in China.
And what Jay Johnson loved about this kid, too, is he had some postseason experience, right? Indiana State, I mean, for a mid-major team, they got a really good program. Played in a couple super regionals.
Two outs in the inning. Little check swing to third. Iredale makes the throw, and that'll do it for the Tigers.
Junior College World Series. Jeff Willis has won, what, 8 national titles over at LSU-E in his 23 years there.
So what we're saying is there's some good baseball in the
Pretty
state
good
of Louisiana.
baseball.
Avalon, little chopper out to second. Dickinson fields, throws, close play. Boy, Avalon can really fly down that line. That'll be the first out. Nice job by Dickinson.
Yeah, Dickinson's got a really nice internal clock. He knew just how much time he had, didn't panic.
At the plate, the racetracks, shortstop, Mahika Aloy.
Mahiva Aloy now. Strikeout, a sac fly with an RBI and a walk. I mean, it's just nuts to just see.
You almost get numb to it.
I know.
I was just sitting here thinking about that. About 20 years ago, the average major league fastball was 86 miles an hour.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
And we got college kids just darting it at 99 now. How about 100? Just then.
I mean, what are we looking at? You know what I mean?
I don't know.
You start to get numb to it. But like 94 used to mean something. Now we got kids throwing change-ups at 93.
One and two. It's just, and Hernandez has got that leather that pops. So it sounds really good.
We interviewed Anthony Ianson. You asked him about hitting. All you got to do is see a couple of those right there. No, I think I'm just going to stick to pitching, Coach. Just put the PO by my name, please.
Fouls off 100.
Ball's got to be looking like an aspirin coming in there at 100 miles an hour.
I don't know how these guys do it.
We talked about the other day, the average SEC hitter today is still hitting 300 with that kind of stuff that's out there.
Yeah. Aloy 5th in the conference in batting average coming into today. He just shaves that one off into the netting. We'll get to see another pitch. The magic for LSU on Friday nights, the last couple of weekends here at home, pretty spectacular as they won the opening game in dramatic fashion on Friday night at 1:17 a.m. Fouled off at the plate. And 2 weeks ago at the exact same time, they beat Tennessee because of another 3.5-hour rain delay. They beat Tennessee on a walk-off home run by Bear Jones at exactly 1:17 a.m.
What's the chances of that?
There's Bear. Second longest home run recorded in Alex Box Stadium history. Just off the plate, 2-2. And we talked about, like, where's somebody has to be printing a T-shirt that says 1:17 a.m. with something about it for LSU.
I'm surprised we haven't seen one
and
yet.
we talked. I thought when we got here today, I thought I'd have a T-shirt.
Had one, yeah.
Didn't have it on my chair. 8th pitch of the at-bat. And now it's full at 3-2. Chase has got to be thinking, I've thrown him 99 and 100 mile an hour darts in there, and he fouled them off. What do I need to do? And he threw him a little off speed, and he fouled that off. But that's what good hitters do, right? They just keep hanging in there, making you work.
In there, waiting for a mistake.
Yeah.
Foul off the tough ones, and then punish the mistakes.
No mistake there. 99 again, got him. Took a while, but finally Chase Shorts wins that battle.
I think you say if you're throwing 99 to 100, it's hard to make a mistake if you get over the white part of the plate. And that's kind of what this is right here. Just my best against yours. See that sinking fastball, that two-seamer, the swing just over the top of that ball.
Two down in the inning. So Maxwell will hit for Arkansas. Logan started yesterday. Actually started the first 2 games after coming off an injury, a hamstring injury, but coming off the bench today. The senior out of Ohio transferred in from TCU. First pitch hit opportunity of the season from Logan Maxwell, a .331 hitter overall. Shoot.
And a quote from Jay Johnson saying, "We're the best team in the country after midnight." Might be the only team in the country that's played 2 games after midnight.
They got him in within like a 5-minute window to start, because you can't start a game after 10 o'clock local time. Jay Johnson and his crew got the field ready for this Friday night. I think first pitch was at 9:57, and against Tennessee, I think it was at 9:55.
That's right, because you can't start after 10 o'clock.
Raswell 0 for 1. Hit by a pitch his last time up. Fouch worked last inning, got 2 strikeouts through just 12 pitches. Raswell fouls that one out of play. Arkansas still has a guy we haven't seen in a while. Parker Coyle is back in the mix for Arkansas, a pitcher that they certainly like a lot. Hadn't pitched since the end of March with an injury, but he is available to go. And Dave Van Horn saying he'd try to get him in here, like to get him in this game. Another guy like Dietz, who we saw yesterday, the big left-hander, pitched well. He's coming back off arm injury from last year, and another guy that looked really good. And you get a Parker Coyle back to a level that you hope he could reach. And now, I mean, you've got some really good options.
Don't forget about Gage Wood, too. He
right.
just came back, so that's a third arm, big arm came back.
Raswell swings and misses on 99, strikeout. But, yeah, there's a lot to like. Offensively, you feel like Arkansas is going to be there. Can they hold up? And there is Coyle getting loose there on the left side, the left-hander. Cole Gibler also on the right-hand side of your screen.
That's what's been pretty amazing about Arkansas this year. They've been nicked up a little bit, and yet they still put up big, big numbers.
Lost their starting second baseman, Nolan Sousa, to an injury. Kind of revamped their infield a little bit. Stephen Milam played second base a year ago, now over at shortstop, 1 for 2 today. He likes to go by Steven. Don't call him Steve. His dad is Steve, so he's Steven. His dad, a Border Patrol agent in New Mexico. I'd like to give him a big shout out. Thanks for all the work he's doing.
Absolutely.
Swing and a miss by Milam. Do him a little 89-mile-an-hour changeup.
Yeah, that's not fair. Because you know what the velo is. You got to get your foot down. You got to go catch up to 98 to 100. And he takes a little bit off like that.
Arkansas's done a nice job taking this crowd out of the game. It's been a relatively raucous crowd the first 2 nights.
Well, that 4 spot did it. Arkansas a 4 spot in the 3rd inning after LSU had a 2-0 lead.
Up and in on Milam.
A lot of moms at the ballpark today on Mother's Day.
Ground ball out to second. Gobbled up there by Kozel, and he'll make the easy play. You know, my mom, God bless her. Happy Mother's Day, Mom, if you're out there watching. I'm not sure she pays attention to me anymore, but she's done with me. She's washed her hands of me. But we used to go, I grew up in Atlanta, went to the Braves games when I was a young guy. And my brother, older brother, we'd load up Mother's Day doubleheaders back in the 70s at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium.
Wow.
And she would just, we thought that's what she wanted to do, but that's really what my dad wanted to do. So he'd have us go ask my mom, hey, let's go. Would you mind if we do the Mother's
And you know
Day
Mom's not going to say no.
And she would sit there for 2 games at Atlanta Fulton. Remember, the Braves were no good in the 70s, man. But I just, now as I'm older again, it's one of those things you learn. I appreciate it. I mean, she sat there for us. Thank you, Mom. Hey, boys, go ask your mom if she wants to go to the Braves doubleheaders.
Yeah. Don't ask her, tell her.
Yeah,
beg her.
That's what we're doing.
For Mother's Day. That's your Mother's Day present, by the way.
Get you a hot dog at Fulton County Stadium. Base hit off the bat of Chris Stanfield. Chris's mom, I'm sure, happy with that base knock. His mom, Lynn, and Chris, when he was a young boy, what were they doing? They had Six Flags or something?
Bumper cars, isn't it?
Bumper cars, yeah.
There's a sacrifice. You know you want it right there. I mean, she didn't want to get in that car.
Right. Obviously, they haven't started the bumper car race yet. That she's smiling like that.
Yeah, because that hat might have got knocked off.
Happy Mother's Day to Lynn. Here's Dave Van Horn out to the mound. Looks like that might be it. Let's see who we get out of the bullpen. So we'll get a change for the Hogs on the mound. We'll update it when we come back.
Derek Curiel here, turning and making him hit left-handed off left-handed pitching.
0 for 2 today. By the way, the USS Kid, I just found out, is going through a restoration process, which is why it's not anchored down on the Mississippi right now. Wonder how they got that. I wish I'd have seen some video of that. They just kind of towed it out of there, I guess.
I guess.
Yeah.
A couple of those big tugs hooked to it.
And off they go. Curiel, 356 on the year. Chops it foul. Boy, he's got a little funky pregame routine. He uses this I wish I'd have gotten a picture of it, but this unique wood bat that he's been using for years now that's kind of weighted. It doesn't even look like a baseball bat.
Yeah, he explained it to us. He said the weight is kind of down at the handle, so it forces you to keep your hands close to your body, which is where you want to be. You don't want to have that long swing where you loop out a little bit. You want to keep those hands in tight to the body. More of a training tool is what it is. He said he's been using it since high school.
His first few swings in the cage or with this wooden bat contraption thing that he has, and obviously it works.
Definitely works for him.
And I said, anybody else on the team use it? And he says, yeah, maybe one or two guys. I'm like, well, you're hitting 360 on the year. I'm surprised more aren't doing it.
Exactly.